Soban has called in Rochdale. Hello, Soban.
Hi, Sheila. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes, yeah. You are part of something called the Smartphone-Free Childhood Movement. Is that a thing? Like an official thing?
It is a thing. It's absolutely.
I mean, I know it's a thing.
Previous caller should join it.
Yeah, well, I think he could be the king of it, couldn't he? By the sounds of it, yeah.
He could be, yeah. So the last 18 months for me have been quite a journey. So I have 3 children. I've got 3 boys. Mm-hmm. I've got one in year 11 now, one in year 7, and one in year 4. So he's only 8 years old.
Yeah.
And so the journey that I've been on has been, as most journeys for parents, it's been driven by the children. So my background is I work in cybersecurity, and I've always worked in IT. And I thought I knew all this stuff. But in year 10, so I gave my child a phone, the eldest one, a phone when he joined high school in year 7, so at the age of 11. And I thought I was being very clever about it. I gave him a phone and it was completely locked down. It would only do calls and messages. That was for year 7. Then in year 8, I allowed him to have WhatsApp. And that stayed for year 8 and 9. And then in year 10, he asked for social media. And I thought, all right, well, I can handle this. So I gave him Snapchat with family controls, and it all went wrong. So that's where, we have a very open policy in our house. The phone does not go in his bedroom, and we have access to it, full access. And so we would do spot checks. And then we saw some of the conversations he was involved in with friends. And it was just like, I was just reading it thinking, who is this person? That's not my child. And, when I spoke to him, he just said, he would say, look, I just kind of just go along with it. Like, I didn't intentionally say those things. That's just what everybody else was saying. So I said it too. Mm. So that sparked off a lot of concerns. I then looked into monitoring apps and started to use those, and we pulled social media. But then he and this is where my wife, who's a GP, she would say to me, Span, that these things are it's like a drug. And I see patients and I see children who are going through things, and it's very similar to withdrawal symptoms. And that's what happened with him. And he found ways to get around the tool that I used at the time. And then I found out he was using Snapchat still. And so I actually gave him a 6-month ban. I just pulled the phone for 6 months. And during that time, that's when I came across these organizations such as Smartphone Free Childhood and Delay Smartphones. And I found that I was not I was not a solo parent going through this, or, my wife and I were not going through this ourselves. There are many, many parents who are struggling with the same and have the same concerns as us. And so we kept that for 6 months, and you can imagine, Sheila, what that was like with a 15-year-old not having a phone for 6 months, right?
Yeah, well, tell me.
Well, it was, as my wife said, she said, it's like dealing with somebody with withdrawal symptoms. The tantrums, the hot outbursts, all of it. It was quite something to experience and witness. But we stayed the course. As your previous callers have said, look, we're parents. That's our job. We have to steer our children through these difficult moments.
Yeah, but you might need to be helped to do it. I would be.
Correct.
I would need help.
Absolutely, and that's exactly where Smartphone Free Child really came into play, where you realise there is a group of you out there, and thousands of parents out there who are all going through the same struggles or similar struggles. That's what helped me. So going through that, and at the end of 6 months, I did give him his phone back, but with restrictions. And now and again he will he has a little outburst like, oh, my friends have sent me a TikTok video, I can't watch it, and I'll just say it's nonsense anyway. Just speak to them tomorrow. And that's where we are with him now. With but what that meant for his 11-year-old who in year 6 had been eagerly awaiting the day he received a shiny phone in his hand. That didn't happen. He got a Nokia, and he will have a basic phone until at least year 10, and that because I just think having the internet in your pocket is just not needed for a child.
I agree.
And I'm saying this as somebody who's very technically savvy. I can lock things down. If you put the door in a child's pocket, they're going to find a way to unlock the door. Eventually, somehow. Although it's quite amusing, my eldest turned around to me yesterday and said, "Can you put that other tracking software on? Because I could get around that one."
Really? Well, at least he's honest.
He was very honest. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's what I've always tried. You have to have communication with each other. You can have all the technical controls you want, but you have to have open communication with your children. So I am constantly explaining to them, why am I involved in this? What am I doing? I'll show them presentations that I'm making for the primary school where I chat to the teachers. And in fact, my year 7 school just yesterday released a mobile phone policy, new mobile phone policy, and they have actually gone further than I would have wanted them to. I actually approached them in the summer, and I was going to approach them again now to ask what they had done. And they've basically said no mobile phones from next month on school property.
See, I think there is a growing movement here, isn't there?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. They're not the only school to do that. There are other schools across the UK that have done that or similar. Now, but so not even what we would, some people term it a dumb phone. So, a phone without internet connectivity like a Nokia. Not even that. They are saying there is no need for phones on the school premises whatsoever. And that's coming into effect from next month. I'm quite interested to see how that pans out. And you know what? I feel for parents, to be honest. I know the caller said, well, parents have to get technically savvy. I think it's actually on people like myself who are already in the field to help other parents.
Yeah.
We have to help each other. A lot of parents have got enough going on.
Are you seeing more parents joining the
yes,
smartphone-free childhood?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. They're definitely joining, and parents I speak to just at school or friends, everybody has actually been thinking the same thing, but nobody knew how to voice it.
Yeah,
and that's where these movements are helping. It's putting a voice to the concerns and actually shaping a strategy. So last week, my wife and I actually met our local MP, and she has written to the Secretary of State for Education about this. And there actually are a number of MPs who are looking at this. And I think
Well, listen, it sounds like you're doing fantastic work. Thank you very much, Soban, and best of luck with that movement, smartphone-free childhood movement. Sam has texted to say, smartphones and social media have created a window to a never-ending feed of unrealistic standards of beauty, wealth and talent. The human mind has not evolved to process such a volume. I think that's true. And the potential ramifications for today's youth are terrifying.